Thanks to Alex the Comic Hoarder for tagging me in this video. And in this video, you'll see all my CGC and CBCS slabs in every single grade possible. And hope you guys enjoy. If you guys are watching this, you're also tagged. Here we go. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'll be doing a local show here in Orange County, California. It's on March 6th, Sunday. I'm going to be sharing a link in the description below on the details of this local show. So if you guys are in the Orange County area, please stop by and check out some awesome books that I'll be having for sale. There'll be some great vendors there. It's going to be an all comic book show. So hope to see you guys there. Welcome guys to another episode of Comics with Bonix. And in this video, we're going to be showing all of our slabs today in every single grade possible. And also wanted to tag some other folks out there in the community. I also wanted to tag Dragon Ink Comics as well as Mint Hunter Comics. And lastly, I also want to tag Matt Woods. So if you guys have been tagged in this video, please let me know when you upload your videos so that I'm able to check out your guys' video as well. Anybody else in the community that would like to upload a video, and I'll be sure to check out your video as well. So for my CGC slabs, I'm going to be starting from the top down, starting with my 9.8 down to my 0.5. So we're going to be doing it in reverse. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first book I have up is House of X #1. This is a Shannon Mayer variant, and it's the Virgin variant that is also signed by Shannon Mayer. It is a signature series 9.8, and it is actually the only 9.8 that I own in my collection. I don't own a lot of modern keys, so I'm really not often chasing 9.8s. Any 9.8s that I do get, typically they get sold. Really more of a Silver Age and Bronze Age collectors. So this is actually the only 9.8 that I have in my collection now. This is an awesome cover by Shannon Mayer with Emma Frost on the front. An absolute gorgeous cover. And this is worthy of my only 9.8. Next up is a 9.6 I have in my collection is New Mutants 98. First appearance of Deadpool. This has always been an awesome book for my collection because I started out in the 90s and this is one of my favorite books from the 90s. So to have this in a 9.6 is absolutely awesome. And next up is another childhood favorite of mine. In the 9.4 we have Uncanny X-Men number 266, which is the first appearance of Gambit. This is considered the first full appearance. I absolutely love this book. This is also another childhood memory that I have collecting in the 90s. Absolutely gorgeous cover with bright colors on this copy with a 9.4 off-white pages. This one is a definite keeper. And at 9.2, I have another big key. It is Ultimate Fallout 4. First appearance of Miles Morales as Spider-Man. This copy is a great looking copy that I'm still thinking whether I should send this in for a clean and a press because it does have potential of getting upgraded. This comes in at a 9.2 white pages. Absolutely awesome modern key to have. This one I'm really excited to see the next Spider-Verse movie with Miles Morales in it. And I'm glad I jumped on this train when I did because this one keeps getting out of reach. And we don't have any 9.0s in our collection. So the next on the list is 8.5, a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 300. This is the first appearance of Venom, Eddie Brock. Awesome copy at an 8.5 off-white to white pages. Stunning colors on this copy as well. I used to have 8.0. I sold that at a pretty low price, so I'm glad I was able to pick up another one at a decent price. So happy to have this back in the collection. And the next on the list is at 8.0. It is X-Men number 101. And this is the first appearance of the Phoenix. Awesome copy, 8.0 white pages. And you guys might have seen this copy on my videos before. This is the very first purchase I've made at a comic convention, which holds a huge sentimental value to me. So this is likely going to stay in the personal collection for a long time. Absolutely love this cover and so grateful to have this one. And the next grade is 7.5, and it's a huge book. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 129, the first appearance of the Punisher, Frank Castle. This one I had framed up and it was sitting on my wall. Just thought I'd bring it down and show the actual frame that it's in. This frame comes from Crafty Comics, and I can leave a link to their Instagram in the description below. But the reason I have it in this case is because this is UV protected, so it protects this CGC slab from any harmful rays or sunlight. And so I thought I'd show this, which it looks pretty nice in the frame. And you guys can definitely check out their items on their website, or you can message them on Instagram. Awesome company. And this is an awesome copy of the first Punisher. And next up is another childhood favorite of mine. It is New Mutants number 87, the first appearance of Cable. This one pretty much brought me back into the hobby back in 2018 because I saw that Rob Liefeld was doing signings at a local convention in LA. So I thought I'd take my childhood copy and have him sign it. Didn't know about cleaning or pressing back then, so just had it sent straight to CGC for a yellow label, and it got a 7.0, which I think that is heavily undergraded because this looks a lot better than a 7.0. But at this point, it doesn't really matter because this is staying in the collection anyway. Just an awesome character in Cable, and I love this book. And for all you DC fans out there, at 6.5, we have Batman number 251, an absolutely classic cover by Neil Adams. And I love how the Joker looks on this cover. And being that I'm a huge fan of poker, there's a cool Ace of Spades with Batman right on the cover as well. Absolutely awesome modern cover for Joker, and one of my favorites in the collection for DC. And at 6.0, we have Giant Size X-Men, which is the first appearance of the new X-Men team in Colossus, Thunderbird, Storm, and Nightcrawler. This one comes at a 6.0 off-white to white pages, and I got this super early when I came back to the hobby because I knew this was one of those books that I needed to have in my collection. So I believe I purchased this off of eBay for a really good price out of about $500. So I had it cleaned and pressed, sent it in, and was so happy to get it back at a 6.0. This has since then quadrupled, if not more, in price. So very happy I got this when I did. So I thought I'd show another 6.0 I have in my collection because it's also an awesome book. It is X-Men number 12, the first appearance of Juggernaut. This I've upgraded a few times in my collection because I absolutely love this cover. One of my favorite Silver Age X-Men books of all time. Absolutely stunning reds on this cover. It's also an important book because it also tells the story of the origin of Professor X, one of the biggest keys in X-Men Silver Age, so I'm super blessed to have this copy. And another DC key hitting the list at 5.5, it is Detective Comics number 359, first appearance of Batgirl Barbara Gordon. Absolutely awesome story and one of my favorite characters in DC. Absolutely love this cover with the purples. If you guys remember when I picked up this book, picked it up from a DC inker named Doug Hazelwood, and I absolutely love this book because it gave me a lot of meaning picking it up from his own personal collection. So I'm super happy about this one. So we're about halfway through the books, guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, please hit the like button and comment down below which is your favorite books out of the group. If you guys are new here, please hit the subscribe button so that you can check out future content that I may release on this channel. We're getting into some big books now, guys. The rest are pretty much all huge keys, including 5.0, first appearance of Silver Surfer and cameo of Galactus. Fantastic Four 48 is one of the iconic books of the Silver Age. Absolutely love the colors on this cover. Super blessed to have this copy and got it at a great price as well. And another book that shares at the 5.0 grade spot is Incredible Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine. This is by far one of my favorite Bronze Age books, and the colors just absolutely pop on this copy. And it was graded a 5.0 because the top staple is detached from the cover, but still presents absolutely awesome. When I first picked this book, it was one of the first big keys I spent that was over $1,000. At the time, I felt like it was a crazy amount to spend on a book, but afterwards, I was absolutely happy with my purchase. After that, I was just on a rampage of picking up big key after big key, so this one kind of started it all. And this copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 6 at a 4.5 is an absolute huge key for me. This I actually picked up from a big collection that I purchased back in February of 2020. Out of the 3,000 to 4,000 books, only a handful of keys I kept in my collection, and this was one of them. This was already graded when I picked it up in the collection. It was graded at a 3.5 with a second generation case. So when I checked it out, it looked like it can improve with a press and clean. So from a 3.5, it went up to a 4.5, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about. The colors on here are absolutely gorgeous. Love the color scheme of this book with the purples and the pinks. First appearance of Lizard is an absolute banger. Getting more excited as we get down to the last few books here. Seems in my collection, the lower the grade, the bigger the book. So the next one up is Amazing Spider-Man number 14, the first appearance of Green Goblin, and the first time that Spider-Man meets the Hulk. This one is a 4.0. Love the colors. It was one of my first books that I wanted on my want list when I returned to the hobby. And I'm glad that I picked it up at an early stage in my collecting, because recently, after the No Way Home movie, the prices on this book has absolutely shot off the roof. So super happy to have picked this up when I did. And the next book up is a 3.5, but it's a huge one. It is Fantastic Four number 5, the first appearance of Doctor Doom. This, it comes in white pages, and if you at first glance look at it, you can't tell what is wrong with it unless you look really closely. This book has 2 binder holes on the spine, right here and right up here next to the 5. But when you first look at it, you really can't tell the reason that it got a 3.5. Otherwise, it would have been a lot higher without those binder holes. But I still absolutely love this copy. Presents great with colors and no chipping on the edge. Such a stunner of a book. And at 3.0, I have a copy of Fantastic Four number 49. First full appearance of Galactus, and the second appearance of Silver Surfer, and first cover appearance of Silver Surfer. This has always been one of my favorite covers in the Silver Age for Fantastic Four. Iconic cover by Jack Kirby and story by Stan Lee. The colors on this still present great for a 3.0, and this was one of those books I picked up super early, got graded, and It's been so expensive, I haven't been able to upgrade, but I'm still happy to have it at a 3.0. We're getting down to the last few books, guys, mega keys of my collection. And at 2.5, we have one of my favorite books. It is X-Men #1, first appearance of the original X-Men, Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, Angel, Jean Grey, Professor X, and Magneto. This copy presents absolutely awesome for a 2.5. There is no chipping, and it even has a store stamp right above the title there. Still presents great for the grade. This is one of my favorite books of my collection, and one of the first big keys that I purchased. At the time, I purchased this for about $3,600, which I thought was a huge amount at the time, but since then, this book has shot up in price. Really tough for me to afford this book nowadays, but I'm glad I picked it up back when I did. And another huge book that I picked up, it's also at a 2.5. It is Amazing Spider-Man #1, the second overall appearance of Spider-Man, first book in his solo series, one of the most iconic runs of all time. First time he meets the Fantastic Four, and it's also the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson and Chameleon. This is graded a 2.5, but really presents a lot better than 2.5. Really no chipping. Most of the defects really is hard to tell by the front cover, but overall an absolutely gorgeous 2.5. I picked this one up in the beginning of 2021, and since then it's almost doubled in price, so super blessed to have picked this up. In these next couple books, I'm still in shock that I have these in my collection, including the biggest book of my collection, which is Amazing Fantasy #15, the very first appearance of Spider-Man Peter Parker, Aunt May, and Uncle Ben. This copy is 2.0 with cream to off-white pages, and there is some tape on the interior cover. However, the front cover presents absolutely awesome. Love the colors on this copy. There is a bit of chipping, but it is not too extreme. Expected Marvel chipping for a low grade. One of my favorite books of all time. If you guys haven't seen that video where I picked up this book, I'll go ahead and share the card so you guys can click it here. Awesome story behind this collector that sold it to me, and I feel super grateful to have picked this up from another fellow collector. And the next book up at a 1.8 is a huge mega key, on par with Amazing Fantasy 15. It can only be Fantastic Four #1, the first appearance of the Fantastic Four. This copy is complete and a blue label unrestored CBCS. It does have a detached cover, but still presents great for a low grade Fantastic Four #1. No missing chunks, so very happy with this copy. And I picked this up from a dealer back in 2020. Got it for a great deal at the time. So I'm happy I was able to pick a copy when I did, because the prices today are going to just get crazier. So I'm super blessed to have this one. And I'm so excited for this next book to show you guys at a 1.5. It is Incredible Hulk #1, the first appearance of the Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner. This book, he shows up as a gray Incredible Hulk, and in issue #2 is when he shows up green. This is one of those scarce books that you just don't see that often. When I picked up this book, it really wasn't on my radar. I've mentioned this in the past, but sometimes when you come across an opportunity to pick up a scarce Marvel key, sometimes you just have to pull the trigger and put other books that were on the want list to the side. And I'm so glad I did sacrifice those other purchases and pick this one instead. This has very minimal chipping on the edge, It does have a rough spine, however, it still presents super awesome for a 1.5 blue label, and I'm so happy that this was added to the PC. And next up at a 1.0 is X-Men number 3, first appearance of Blob. This is a very important book to me because this was actually the very first Silver Age comic book that I ever picked up for my collection. Purchased it raw and in person, and to me it's still an absolutely awesome book even at a 1.0. Even with all the pieces missing, I absolutely love this book. I still haven't had the need to upgrade, so I'm still so happy to have a 1.0 first Blob in my collection. And last but not least, my only 0.5 in the collection is X-Men number 2, the first appearance of the Vanisher. This is a complete copy, however, it just shows how much all this tape and all these tears and detached covers, just a huge paragraph on the label of all the defects. Even though complete, it still came back a 0.5, but still, I don't care about the grade. This is an absolute awesome book to have in my collection, even at a 0.5. Still love this Silver Age key. Thanks guys for checking out my video of all my books in all grades. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are able to upload a video with all your grades in all your slabs, please let me know so I can check out your video as well. And also to the 3 people I've tagged in this video, Dragon Ink Comics, Mint Hunter Comics, and Matt Woods, all 3 people that I've tagged in this video, please upload a video of every slab in every grade so that we can also check you out as well. And with that, I want to thank you for joining me here on Comics with Bonix. And as always, I want to remind you to collect your passion.